What is going on, everybody out there in podcast land?
Yo, yo.
Hello, my
What's up?
darlings.
Howdy, everyone.
How
And
the fuck are you?
Look who's here.
great. And a special howdy to you, Mr. Outcast.
Well, hi to all of you too.
Thanks so much for joining us. It's good to catch up.
Yeah,
Thank you.
welcome back, dude. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Been a minute.
Yeah, when was the last one? I meant to look that up today and I forgot.
Probably about a year ago. I
Yeah,
feel
about that.
we
Yeah, probably about a year, something like that.
go in these like year cycles and bring people back because, you know, you don't have like that much new stuff going on like 6 months later. It's like really a year later we can really like see what kind of new stuff you've been getting up to and all that, So
Yeah,
I feel like it's
understandable.
good timing.
I think it's perfect.
For sure. For sure. You got anything special to smoke on this evening?
In my lineup right now is probably raspberry stomp.
Ooh. Yeah, that's what you're puffing on tonight?
Yeah,
What can you tell us about her?
Delicious.
yeah. You can say it's delicious. Get you lit. Maybe too much of an evening smoke.
Very indica,
Yeah,
broadleaf leaning.
I would say that definitely.
Well, so it's funny, man. I have to say the Stomper series, right? Like which I'm smoking a little pineapple Stomper right now.
Okay.
Your Stomper series, I joke around with the people I share it with. I'm like, yeah, pineapple, but this will stomp your ass into the dirt. Like this is a little couch locky.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I think all of them along that whole line was pretty couch locky. I didn't have any that were more hybrid leaf, I would say.
Well, it's a great nighttime smoke. Like, I like this from like afternoon and later. You would think because it's called pineapple, it might be a good daytime, but unless you plan on getting jack shit done that day,
Well, then that's
wouldn't
an excellent
recommend.
daytime smoke for that, right? There you go.
Would not recommend for daytime use, but yeah, cheers. So like, what do the Stompers share in common? Like, what kind of
Um,
lineage?
the lineage TK Stomper, which I didn't release it. It's TKOG and a Form Stomper cross mix. Developed TK Stomper, went a few lines down with it. Really like the smoke it developed. So, and some of the frost too, right? So some of those lineage out of that Stomper surprised the hell out of me. But just about every fruit lineup you can think of. I even had some that I didn't release. There was a passion fruit. There was a few others. They just didn't make the cut. But the five that you have is the blueberry, the purple Kim. I'm gonna sit here and forget all my damn own strains. Raspberry,
It was orange, right?
pineapple, yeah, and orange stopper. There you go. Hell, you know them better than me.
That's fucking classic.
Well, they all will stomp your ass into the ground if you're not careful with them. That's
Man,
what I
it's a
will
shame the
say.
passion fruit didn't make it through. I mean, I know that you have super high standards and they didn't make it for a reason, but that sounds amazing.
Well, I wish I could get the turfs or something to come through on that, but it just didn't. It's dead. That's
Yeah.
a project dead in the water.
Oh, well.
You can only
Never meant
wish.
to float.
We appreciate your standards, though, sir.
Do
You know,
I?
We appreciate your standards.
Oh, I appreciate y'all.
Well, I mean, his standards can't be that high. He's on this show.
there you go. What do you got tonight, Monster?
Smoking on some Preglu.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Mass Medical.
One of my
Narrow
faves.
leaf
I keep it
leaner.
around. Matter of fact, right to my left of me, I have the mom that's still in a solo cup. It needs to be transplanted. It's
Oh, Lord.
rather big.
How long has that been in a solo cup?
I don't know, at least 4 or 5 months. I mean, look at the
Oh
stalk.
The
Look
stem
how
is
thick
super thick.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't look that unhappy, man. It's just
No, it's not. I mean, you just got to water it like 18 times a day. Make sure that she has what she wants. But definitely root pound and abuse. But
I feel so bad for her.
She'll go
She's
into
like the
a 5 gallon pot tomorrow. I've been meaning to do it. It's been fucking super
Nice.
busy. And then
poor thing. Reminds me of those poor women with like the foot bindings.
Like I'd
Savage.
say that's more like a bonsai tree. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
like again like a kind of a. Like, is there something like an Asian custom that I'm missing out on that like involves binding things against their will?
I don't
I
know,
don't
maybe
know.
something with some meat hooks or something.
It's just an odd cultural tradition. That's all.
Hmm.
But yeah, G3. What about you? What are you smoking?
Oh, I actually am tonight. Hooray!
Oh, she's
Tolerance break
back.
is
She's back.
over. The bitch is back.
Hell
So,
yeah.
yeah, those 3 weeks were absolutely worth it. That first hit knocked me on my fucking ass. And now I have like a little bitty baby tolerance. It's like one hit, and I'm like, fuck, I'm
Cheap
stoned.
date now.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible. But look, I have this beautiful thing.
Oh yeah, your Puffco.
My Puffco. I got the Peak Pro. She's so pretty. She's got all of these like super fun party lights and stuff. I got a controller through my phone. It's like too much work that way.
Oh my
How do you
lord.
like it?
Like, I love it. I really, I mean, I kind of wanted to love it because it was expensive, but I kind of also didn't want to love it because there's a lot of fucking hype around this thing. And I was like, I don't know. We'll see. I love it.
Uh,
It's amazing. I want to wash and press everything now.
Is there anything that
Actually,
you don't like about it?
I haven't figured out like this is a me problem, not an it problem. I have ADHD and I can't like get into the guts of something unless I'm really interested in it. And this thing is like, okay, I figured it out how to use it with my phone, but I haven't figured out all the manual bits yet.
So
And I
you've
just
only
don't
had it a
know
couple
all
of
the
weeks, and you're already giving it. It's not you, it's me line.
no, no, this is
I'm just fucking
lovely.
with you, G3.
This is lovely. So, I'm a big fan. I wasn't like my experience with extracts before this was like a nectar collector. So this is a
It's a big
little bit
upgrade.
of an upgrade.
uh,
It's
so,
completely different experience.
so
It's so nice and clean.
It's
have you
not
been
cooking your own.
pressing your own stuff now?
No, I mean I want to now. I
Oh,
have
you got to
like,
get a little press now.
well, I have
That's
one. I'm just not good at it. But mine is only 2 tons, and it doesn't have like a gauge or anything like that. I have to
well,
like hang
that's.
off of it to get it to lock. So
Is it a
there's going to be a little
manual
bit of a
one?
yeah. It's one of the
Okay.
like
All right.
little Rosatak ones.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. So
Hey, if we
I got
could
to
get
figure out all of that. I was like, I love flower. I'm such a
if
flower
I
girl. And
could
now
get
I'm
my
like,
sister's hair straightener to produce rosin back in the day, you could certainly get your 2 ton rosin tech to make something for you.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
not
Now
all
that
your sister produces. I had to say it. My bad.
Hey now.
Hey now.
yeah, now
I
I feel like there's going to be more dopamine associated with the processing part of it because before, once the flower was dead, I just couldn't care enough anymore. Now I kind of care.
Word.
So
You're going to care
yeah,
more about the cure.
yeah,
Oh,
yes.
cure.
I need to care about all of it, not just when the plant's alive,
Oh, yeah, but
but
on the rosin
that's a
part,
personal
that's
problem.
cure.
All that
Yeah.
post processing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
an
there's
art.
also
It truly
it,
is an
it
art.
truly is, and it takes time, and there is a serious learning curve. And yeah, to
It
do it right
is.
is beautiful.
You know,
To do it
my
wrong is you
hat.
know real fast that you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, my
I haven't
hat
touched
comes
my
off
press in
to
over a year.
anyone
It's so
making
much
their own
work, extra
rosin.
work on top of trying to grow. Like when you get it, you're like, it's gonna be easy. I'm just gonna do this, and yeah, like I mean,
Yeah, that's what
it's
I
just
thought. And
I had to start giving shit away to people to make edibles because I had 2 chest freezers full of fucking shit. You know what I mean? Just like
Trim and like larf and stuff.
yeah, or fresh
Like,
frozen stuff I wanted to make fresh frozen with. Just yeah, it just
You forget it's in the freezer.
you just I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Other people may be different. I just really don't have the time, you know, unless I want to get divorced. You know, that's the reality of it. You have other responsibilities. You just don't quite have the time. You know.
yeah, all the things I'd do if I had 50 hours a day, you know?
Seriously.
Shit, look at that thing light up, G3. It's like something out of Avatar.
She
It's
looks
like
so
what
happy.
the fucking blue
I
people
thought
would
you should see.
smoke
Hold
in
on.
Avatar.
The
After this
audio,
is done, I'll show you the mood
Pretty
lights.
cool.
people are getting cheated.
Yeah, you gotta watch live sometimes. Well, let's get back to Outcast, man. I want to talk about your recent drop, dude.
No worries. So
All
what do you
your
want?
most recent stuff, like, because we know about the stompers, you know, we know the
Yeah.
stompers will stomp you into the dirt, and these are feminized auto flowers, right? This is
Yes, sir.
what you do best, and pretty much all you do is fem autos, correct?
Work on, well, I've got photos I'm working on, but there's nothing released yet. I mean, I've been working on
Gotcha.
photos for a while. It's just in the background. You guys don't see it. I'll throw some testers out to some friends every now and then. I'll send a few out. It's just a continuous work in progress. I just haven't got anything to the point to where I'm like, hey, that's what it needs to be, and then be able to send it out. Right. So if you're going to put your name on something, you got to make sure it's going to be something of quality. Otherwise, why are you doing it? You'll spend 3 or 4 years on a project. You'll spend 20 years on a project if it's the right project.
It's the truth, you know. Anything worth doing, worth spending time on, for sure. Doing right.
Yes.
So yeah, you came out with, I don't know how many new strains. It was at least half a dozen, right?
Yeah, I think there were 5 and then one off. So it was all the Raspberry Reaper line. I say Raspberry Reaper. It wasn't the Raspberry Reaper line. It was Raspberry Stomper line. My bad. One of them was a collab with BGG, and it was Reaper's Raspberry.
Who?
So
Hey, that guy,
yeah, that surprise.
and that was
No,
called Reaper's Raspberry.
yes, sir. Reaper's Raspberry. So it's his funeral desserts crossed with our Raspberry Stomper.
Okay, cool, cool.
So love the effect of the funeral desserts. Hit BGG up. Say, hey man,
Gotcha. That's where the
I'm glad.
Reaper comes from. I'm getting it now.
Yeah, that's the Reaper funeral desserts.
Funeral, yeah,
Yeah,
funeral.
there you go.
There you go. It's like so.
Connections.
All right, I just I like to see how like the breeder mind works when naming the
Oh,
strains. You know?
naming conventions. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a whole art in itself.
Oh,
Anyway,
it's
so I've
cool.
got the Reaper's Raspberry. That was the BGG collab, and then there are further other crosses of Raspberry Stomper throughout there. We had a V2 we created, so we got a Raspberry Reaper's V2 version number 2. Love the first one so much that we carried on lineage in this group, but also back crossed it to try to get a version 2 out of it and try to lock in some of the. I like the frosty. I love the look of the plant because I mean it's probably the frostiest auto I've grown as far as Raspberry Stomper. Uh, love
Mm.
that plant, so went forward with it, flavor, everything, carried on the lineage, and see what it done with some other friends of ours, right? So we brought that whole different gene pool in there and mixed it up, come out with a few that ended up feeling like we needed to release them. So,
Ooh. All right.
but
So and that one is your Reaper's Raspberry.
yeah, that one is the Reaper's Raspberry. The other ones, there's one called Burnt Peanuts. There's Mythical Midnight, and then there's hell. You're gonna make a liar out of me. I'm sitting here
Here, I can
trying
bring
to
them
think of
up
all my
on.
names.
So
I was coming across
if
them
we
earlier.
want to go, like, let's say we wanted to like check some of your stuff out. What website is it? DCD, if I'm recalling correctly.
DCD, yeah, DCD is the seed bank that I deal with. Yeah, Kurt and that group out there, they're good people.
All right, cool.
Um, you can go there and check that out. I've also got a link on my Instagram.
Yeah, I'll
I want to
bring
hear
this
about
up real
burnt
quick for you.
peanuts more. That sounds like a really fascinating profile.
No, it's not really about the profiles. It
Yeah,
is the
right.
name. Here we
I
go.
love the name. Like that appeals to me a lot. Like burnt umami flavor. Yes, please. Like leaving a
I
hot
can't
dog
really
on a
say that
grill
the
for
terps
too
are burnt.
long.
Yeah, I can't really say that the terps are burnt on this one. I mean, this one goes back a ways to whenever I was back in high school. So this is an ode to an old friend of mine. Um, He's gone now, but me and him used to go out at lunch, man, every day. We were gone at lunch period, and right after lunch, I had a math class, and me and this buddy of mine, we'd go out and at lunch we'd get toasted up, and then we'd come back to school. And this girl that's like the cheerleading captain, she sat in front of us, and she turned around to me one day, and she just looked at me and goes, "Hey, where do you guys go eat for lunch?" And I said, "Well, just down here at the Quick Stop. We just go down here." She goes, "Y'all eat the same thing every day?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Y'all come in this classroom smelling like burnt peanuts every day after lunch." So that's where the name came from.
Burnt peanuts.
Is that what she associated the smell of weed
Yes,
with?
yeah, because
Yeah,
she
all
was
right,
naive.
gotcha.
She's real naive, and
Gotcha,
so
gotcha,
he
gotcha.
called her burnt peanuts.
I
And I was
That's
love
like,
funny,
that.
man. I could see that association in someone's mind.
"Yeah,
It's funny.
Badger's speaking extremely high of it. So
yeah."
Yeah.
Badger had a
Hmm.
huge, humongous plant, man. Whenever he was testing some of it out, he grew a monster.
yeah, says the beast
Wow.
that wants to dump
Ooh,
trikes.
Ooh.
she's a dumper.
What up, Badger?
So if she doesn't taste like burnt peanuts, what does she taste like?
So this one is an offshoot of Ripley's OG and crossed with that raspberry stomper. So what we took from the Ripley's OG was really the structure of the plant.
I bet you
And
those
on
things
this,
get huge.
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
Everybody loves the
Didn't we?
Ripley's
Yeah,
for
we
that.
didn't we say that on like a episode a couple weeks back? Like that Ripley's OG. You
and so
find
that,
as a breeder that gives like such good
Such
structure
good
to a
structure.
cross, right?
And
yeah,
she
it's big.
throws the structure
Oh,
to her children like often. It's
yeah,
amazing.
carry the traits down. But you combine that with
It's funny,
trike,
interesting.
the trike monster of raspberry stomper, and that's what we end up with is a giant raspberry stomper that we was breeding, hopefully to be able to wash and look at the returns on it, and kind of that's where we was looking that direction, and that's why Badger actually tested it out. Want to
Nice.
see what the wash return is on it and look at it, but I mean it hasn't been washed. We went ahead and turned it loose. It's a giant plant, giant and
Wow.
frosty.
Wow. Hey, I believe that, man. Everything I've grown over years has been sturdy. Let's just say.
Yes. Beautiful
So the
structure.
Sacred Watch were fucking beasts, the ones I grew,
Yeah.
and the TKOG was on the smaller side, but also a pretty good sized fucking plant.
So it's funny, like the pineapple stomper I did recently, which I'd love to bring up. I don't know if I have
It
any
was smaller,
pictures of it
wasn't
I
it?
could do recently. Say again?
Wasn't yours smaller, Captain?
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I was gonna say. Is it wasn't the biggest plant, however, like yielded a shit ton, dude. On like a plant that was maybe 2.5 feet tall, like a little what I would call like a stubby little girl. She wasn't up there with the rest of the canopy. It didn't fucking matter. She ate that light and gave me fat nugs, just all over the whole thing, like side branches, tops. It doesn't matter. They're just solid and like yeah, I would guess that this nug right here is about like 4.5 grams.
Yeah. She
So
looks it. Dense.
yeah, dense. Breaks up nice too, which is
Grows
always a
grown the organic way.
hey. Do you think that has something to do with like
You know,
the way your bud
overall, man, I mean,
comes
my
out?
personal growth style, I'll tell you, is Synganics. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a that's just the way I grow. It's everybody has to find their own way and their own success in life as far as whenever you grow these plants on which direction you're going to go, whether it's grown organically, synganically, or just straight salts. I mean, I've got people that grow that stuff, you know, hydroponically. My son messed with the buckets for a while, grew some monsters. It's just that however you find your style and what grows the best for you. And monsters a synganic guy. You being an organic person, I don't know what G3 grows. What do you grow, G3?
I'm organics.
All organics.
Pretty much. I mean, not like organics or die. I'll certainly use some things that blur the line a little bit, but I generally go
Yeah, like
organics. Yes.
I'm adding Terps Plus and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Just
Yeah,
little
but dude, that stuff's like two
enhancers.
drops to a 5 gallon bucket. I mean, it's like fucking such a little amount of that stuff.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
would say I'm like
I go mostly
99%
organic-ish.
organic.
Sprinkling some bone meal on there and washing it down with a good dose of,
CalMag,
general hydroponics.
the GH3 part, dude. Actually, that's it's not a bad way to grow at all, man. I mean,
That's
if
how I started, and I
a,
grew beautiful
a
plants with
lot
the
of pros
GH
do that.
trio.
GH3
Yeah,
Yeah.
part gets shit on a lot. It did change a little bit a while back, but I know people that still use it, and because it's easy, and
It
they
is
like it,
super
and
easy.
it's
Yeah,
cheap. You can buy like the gallon jugs, I think, for like $50 a piece or something. I mean, you could be off and growing. That
listen.
shit.
The best weed you ever smoked was probably grown with GH3 part under HPS lights.
kicking it old school.
Yup.
Yeah. Dialing it back a little bit.
Maybe there was something to it.
Oh, there
It's
had to
like
been.
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe a lot of people are very nostalgic about the weed that we used to get back in the day. Like for whatever reason, whether it's like the high that we
I think
feel
it's all
like
set and
is
setting.
is missing. I
Most of
think
it,
it's
I
just
should say.
a you know trick your mind plays about
I think it is a little bit of everything.
A
I
little bit of set
mean,
and setting, I think. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, you had some outliers that were fire, but generally speaking, like the shit we get and grow
every,
now, it's all fucking high grade, man.
it is. Some of it almost too high grade. Like if the THC is too high, it gives me a headache.
When I say high grade, that's not even what I refer to. Just like good smoke, fucking.
hybrids of
Yeah.
hybrids of hybrids and
But I mean,
just
overall, ideally, you want something that will get you high. So you want it to be super psychoactive. You also want the flavor and the aroma. So you want those terps to reel really high. So you want high grade across the board. So if you don't have that, I feel like if you don't have the terps to balance it out, if you just have straight THC and you strip everything else away, it just gives me a headache.
Yeah, it's the same thing like smoking distillate. Like when I see
Yeah.
people smoking those fucking distillate pens, I want to smack it out of their fucking hands.
Oh,
Like,
gosh.
like,
A little bit of
like,
education.
well, people are like, oh, it's cheap, like, they're at 2 for $20 at the fucking dispo. Like, yeah, like there's a reason for that. That shit's made with hemp.
I can't believe
Fucking,
that it's good for you
they
to
literally are
distillate
making it with
distillate.
most of the distillate is made with hemp these days. They have to extract retarded amounts of it to get enough THC for fucking people. People, still buy it.
we got Badger chiming in again. He says, I had plants that made me slightly hallucinate. That I haven't found in today's smoke. I agree,
Well,
man.
I had
that's
that
a
too, but it
lot
was
of
accidentally cut with PCP. So
holy shit.
maybe
That actually happened
someone
there.
sprayed it with formaldehyde by accident.
yeah, it was like
I think
my dad was like, "Oh yeah, a little bit of angel dust in there."
that's a lot of like you're talking like land racy shit, like more definitely sativa based stuff,
Yeah.
and
Vietnam
there
Black.
definitely is less and less people working with the narrow leaf variety. You're not seeing a lot of it anymore
You know,
because
Yeah.
it takes
we
16
longer.
week flower times. You get 16-week flower times, you're definitely not going to work with it too much, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you got to bring that down if you want it to be economical at all. But again,
but what if you
I
get like
wonder. I
super
just wonder.
amazing killer bud, but it takes 16 weeks to get there?
I mean, some people would
Is it
say it's
worth
worth
it?
it.
I would
Others
say it
would
was worth it.
say not at all.
It
It
like
depends on
blows
your
your
perspective.
mind.
I think as a personal grower, it'd definitely be worth it to at least experiment or kind of see how that is at least once, right? Like Mike from Mass Hydro grew out a recreation of some Acapulco Gold that was like a 24-week flowering time,
I remember seeing that on IG, dude.
Oh,
It was insane.
and I got a chance to smoke some of it. It was fucking awesome. It was really good bud. But yeah, I don't think I mean, I would have the patience for something quite that long. I mean, you're talking half a fucking year, basically.
Isn't something
I
even
hope
like
you
a
don't.
super silver haze is like a 12 weeker, isn't it?
Mm,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there are
long.
some there are some people growing cuts of supposedly stuff that will get you there in like 11, 12 weeks.
It, I wonder, like I truly do, because again, like I'm one of those people who I wax nostalgic a little bit about the bud that we used to get back in the day. I wonder, like, was it the genetics, and it's just been bottlenecked and hybridized to the point where like we lost a little bit of something along the way, or if it was just like growing techniques of back in the day. You know, we've been hearing a lot about like light spectrums affecting the genotype and phenotype of plants, and I
I don't
wonder
know.
about
Part
the
of me worries
nutrients
about
having.
that too. Like it back in the day, it was a lot harder to get seeds. Um, a lot of people were still continuing to grow these things, even like 16 to 20 week plants. There must have been something in them. There's a reason that they existed. So breeding down to like a super short breeding time is great for a lot of reasons, but it also like what genetics are we losing? What are we giving up in the process?
A lot, for sure.
Know?
Oh,
I
yeah,
hope
but I mean,
people keep those alive. So I appreciate like you generally breed autos and you're reaching into photos and making sure that those are correct. So,
yeah,
breeders that kind of have those multifaceted things and can even ones who specialize in the more rare genetics, I think that's really important overall for the health of the plant as a whole. Not
yeah.
individual plants, but marijuana as a whole.
Oh, dude, we don't call
So
it
do y'all know?
marijuana, G3. It's cannabis. Come on.
Cannabis.
Do y'all know Iraznig on Instagram?
Yes, the land race.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. He's conserving a lot of good genetics. He's so I pick up a bunch of his stuff. I mean, I try to go back to that lineage too. I mean, somebody's got to drive something backwards, and
Yeah,
so he's
tap in
got stuff
every
in the
once in a while.
family. He does drops. Uh, have you heard of Tonglin's Son Project?
I have not. No.
Mm-mm. Tell us about it.
Okay, that's a project they got online that it also is affiliated with saving animals and things. And he done a note, basically a charity drop here a while back, and they dropped a bunch of landrace beans. And these are ones that they brought back from Afghanistan. They've got the I hate this being a commercial form, but it's the shit's too cool to not be. Double Dalai, which is it's a straight up black purple plant that they,
Ooh.
Mm.
yeah, it's insane looking. It's like got navy blue buds when they're dried.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
That's
I'm
cool.
immediately very
Navy
interested.
blue. Hey, that would pique my interest for sure.
And so they've got that. They've got the what else was the Super Deluxe, which is a cross of a bunch of land races they've got there locally. They're all wide broadleaf because all of it comes from over in Afghanistan. But they also
Hmm.
cross it with some Colombians and some equatorial strains too. So they're bringing kind of the best of both worlds. These guys doing this, kind of heritage project. So if you see them, man, I always try to snatch some up when I can because you don't come across that type of stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. It was like really back in like the early mid '80s, I think, when people started to like have access to a bunch of these land races around the world, right? It was like Neville Schumacher, all
Yep.
these guys from like Amsterdam and Europe primarily, and they would collect a bunch of land races, however they'd acquire them, and then hybridize those together. And it was went at the point in like where they would have like a cross between a Colombian, you know, a Thai and an Afghan, that you're like holy shit, wow, this is really something special. Like this is like modern smoke, what we would think of it as, you know. It took a couple generations, is what I'm saying. But if you can tap into those initial building blocks every once in a while, that's just super cool.
Yeah, it's foundational. In my eyes, it is. I mean, you got to dial it back to the foundation and then bring it back out, right? So thinking of bringing something from way down the lineage, you know, 20, 30 generations down and bring it back to square one and starting all over with a cross. I mean, that's a lot of different varying genetics you're putting back into that pool with that land race. There's no telling what you're going to have.
Might take a lot of work, but
Yeah, but I mean, what do we got? Time?
that's all we got, man. It's all we got. So I want to get back to some of your stuff in particular, man. Some of your new stuff. We talked about the burnt peanuts.
Yes, sir.
We understand the burnt peanuts. I also see you have a one called a jungle berry cookies.
Yeah, I
Okay.
figure Monster throw me under the bus for the cookies breeding.
What can
But
you tell us
Nah,
about that one? No, man,
no.
dude,
Listen, I've
cookies.
said it before. Cookies is good. I just think it's overused. Like there's
yeah,
cookies in almost everything you fucking see these days. Um, it's definitely bounced back a lot, like because people, I think people are more aware of that. But it was just one of those things that I think had a lot of hype, and some of it was deserved. But I don't get into the whole like I love Mass Medical, but dude, he is talk about somebody that rips cookies. Like he fucking rips that shit to no avail. I don't. I think that's a bit too far. But yeah, no. I've said it before. Like one of my favorite autos that I've ever grew was Forgotten Cookies by Meth. I had a unicorn that I tried to recreate. I don't know a dozen times. Never ever got it again. It was amazing smoke. So yeah, no, I
Man,
like cookies.
there's a
And dude,
reason people use it.
yeah, and listen. At the end of the day, if you're putting your fucking name on it, I'm sure it's gonna be good.
I appreciate that.
There you go.
So the Jungleberry cookies, that's a gorilla cookies. So it's Gorilla Glue 4 with a Magic Cookies cross to create Gorilla Cookies. And then we carried Gorilla
Nice.
Cookies down a little further. Really, the Gorilla Cookies was mainly for structure.
Gorilla
Again,
cookies is that's fast buds if I'm not mistaken, right?
yes, yes,
All
they've
right.
got they've got Gorilla Cookies as well. And
Cool.
so carrying it down, getting uniform structure out of the plant, and then breeding into it. So it's picking the right one, right? So you're talking about genotypes, and so we get in there and get the right one. And that one did not produce, I wouldn't say a whole hell of a lot of seeds. I'm not going to have a whole lot of any of these strains, too many of them. But the Gorilla Cookies crossed with that raspberry brought the frost on. That's all I can tell you. It brought the frost on in
Nice.
ways that's why we labeled it a keeper. I mean, I've got that one, and then Mythical Midnight. That one is a Black Mamba cross. So you revert back to the that one. I think that one came from, I want to say Rockbud.
All right. I'm bringing it up here. Do you have a
Yeah, Black Mamba was
doesn't show like the lineage or anything on
back
DC?
lineage. Yeah, yeah. Oh, the lineage itself. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I think it's on my Instagram, and you just have to dial into the shop. It's on Big Cartel. Let me type it in real quick.
Yeah, Mythical Midnight. So what? That's a rock bud plus
Yeah, that's a Rockbud
the
that
the
was selected
raspberry
out.
stomper.
Yes, sir. So the Mythical Midnight, that one in particular, that one has the Magic Cookies, I believe. No, it wasn't the Magic Cookies. It's a Hama Mama crossed into, I believe, cookie. It's a cookies. I believe is what created the Black Mamba,
Mm.
and then we got the Black Mamba, grew out several of them, and then found one that was particularly vigorous, had growth, bred her down, and then went back into the offspring. We went a few generations down, but got it dialed in to where it's a pretty large plant. Love the frost on it. Gotta love the frost on it.
Yeah,
So
I can tell you're a frosty man. If it don't have
I
frost,
had to put it
you
in.
know that's one of the things you look for. I can. That's just,
I
I'm trying to
know. I mean,
get like a sense of who you are as a breeder, what you look for, what you like, all that
man,
stuff,
I like
man.
structure and frost. I mean, the terps,
There
yeah,
you
they're
go.
all for me. They're always going to be there. It just depends on what kind of terps you like, right? So you're going to go Kim, gas, or you're going to go fruity side. It's really kind of what you like, and then you can chase that if you want to. But I think the where does the terps come from, right? There are oils and everything else on the plant, but I also believe some of it's in the glandulars and inside of the plant itself. I'm trying to sit here missing my words.
We mean just
Trichome.
the
There we go. I think some of the terp, some of the flavoring, does it not come out of the trichomes? It's all based on the plant, yes, but I think some of it, it can transfer over into the trichome. How do you think hash gets its taste and other things that age as time? So really, I think the terps are going to be there. That's just me personally. Terps going to be there. We bred them into the plant. They've carried
okay.
on for generations. I look for frost, structure, and really kind of overall bag appeal, man. I like a pretty plant.
Don't we all?
Dude, I
Don't
feel
hate me
that.
for
I
it.
feel that. No, no, no,
No,
no,
we
no.
love you for it.
Listen, that's
As a breeder, do you find it difficult to breed for terp profiles you wouldn't necessarily enjoy because other people might? Like, do
Like
you
me.
do you like, yes, like Cap, we know Cap loves a good umami profile. So if are there terp profiles that you don't necessarily enjoy, but you know other people really would, and you want to get the best out of a plant in that, like, do you find that hard to do? Or do you do that at all? Maybe you just grow everything you like, which is something I would do as a breeder.
Yeah, I tend to lean on things that I like and I stick to them. Not to say that other people are out there aren't right, but when I look at what I'm putting out, that's a profile of myself. It's something that I created that, hey, this is what I like and I'm wanting to share it with the world. And so
yeah, I feel that.
when it comes to meat terps and things of that nature, have I had them? Yeah, probably a few times, but it wasn't a road I chased down. It goes back and forth. To me personally, it goes back and forth between fruit and gas. I mean, you're on one side, you might like fruit and have the sweetness one day. The other side, you like the sting of the gas. You like something that's going to burn your nose.
Mhm.
Well, that is exactly the combination I have in this pineapple stomper. I will say fruit and gas. You know, like that's so. Like I love it. That's your preferred terp profile. Like you really can't go wrong with a fruit gas combo. I mean, it's a classic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Crowd pleaser, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
very much a crowd pleaser. Like you're never gonna open up a jar of something like that and be like, that doesn't smell good. And most people are gonna agree with you, like it smells great. But yeah, no, it's like if it's not your cup of tea, why mess around with it? If I were a breeder, shit, I would just breed the stuff I like too. You know,
yeah. You definitely chase what you want, chase
for
what you
sure,
like.
man.
Even, I've told guys on this on Discord, I encourage everybody, chunk pollen. You need to learn how to do it. Get out
Okay,
there, create some seeds.
I
You
love it.
might have the next unicorn in there, man. I compare genetics with just about any kind of form of biological breeding. It isn't always going to be you got Michael Jordan and Serena Williams lined up, and going to create this fantastic athlete kid. That kid might have some special powers, but he also might be a special kid, right? So he might be somebody that needs to get taken care of and he just doesn't develop. So it's not guaranteed every time you're going to create some fire. But if you chunk pollen, learn the process, learn about selection, and do some work, I mean, you're not far from a breeder. And I think everybody needs to go down that road. It ain't everybody's cup of tea. I mean, I understand growing. I love growing. Probably love growing more than any other
Hmm.
activity that has to do with the plant. And that's being honest with you. I think find it challenging. Find it. It's what drew me in. It sucked me in years and years ago, man. I mean, yeah, first the smoke sucks you in whenever you first try it, but then learn you can grow this at the house. Really,
Yeah, right.
show me how, dude.
Well, and that's one of the reasons we love to talk to breeders is like you guys. It's like understood that like in order to breed, you must first have like a thorough understanding of how to grow the plant and how all the parts of it work together. And like that in and of itself takes years. And then to get into the breeding part, it's like we we as growers all look up to the breeders because it's like we assume that you guys have like this insider knowledge of the plant and kind of like how it operates on a genetic level that I think it's a real thing, you know?
I would say that, yeah, majority of people, that's the case, right? So I really think like what you're talking about, you're talking about being in the grow phase of it. I really think everybody's going to end up, eventually you chase that tail, right? So you're going to breed one of these days. You're not going to tell me Captain's not going to chuck pollen because I know it's down the road. He's coming up soon.
Oh, it's coming,
So
man. It's coming.
yeah, it's coming.
It's
So, but
coming.
I think everybody needs to go down that avenue. I mean, I found a passion in it that I didn't have before. That it just made me dig deeper into the plant. And so, yes, you do get an understanding, but I guess it's kind of a motivating passion for the plant. Whenever you get it early on, it's like you get set on fire and you got to go chase this thing. And so you chase it down that road. You go to growing the best plant you can grow out there in guerrilla land, out in the bush. Uh, you grow the best thing you can grow, and make do with that until you get a little older and you get established on your feet as an adult, and you get your own tent setups and everything going, and you're like, okay, we'll go down this road, and you start traveling down that road. Once you get past all that and you grow the most beautiful plants, I think you're going to find yourself chasing, okay, I want to see how I can steer this thing and make something of my own.
Mm-hmm.
I think you get to that point, and that's just part of your journey in life. I think everybody's got breeder in them.
I love that, dude. Everybody's got a little breeder in them. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah,
Some of us are further than others down that road, but everybody's got it in them. Some of us have to drop out of the race.
Some of us just can't hack it. Like
There you
some
go.
of you are gonna shit your pants before you cross that finish line of the marathon. You know, like you just won't be able to hack it. Like we got Austin too. Like he chimed in. He says sometimes you grow a Rain Man plant. You know, not every plant's gonna be something special. You wanna go forward with. You know, sometimes you gotta grow the Rain Men at times.
Well, you see them in today's genetics too. They're I would say no breeder out there does not have a plant that they haven't had sprout from seed that's mutated. I mean, those are part of the industry. I've seen we've polyhybrided this plant so much that and bred it down. That's where I think that you start seeing the 3-leaf cotyledons and just the odd looking leaves and the weird looking stuff coming out of this little seedling. I think that's where we start running into the wall with the genetics per se. That's my take on it. I think the more you see that, the more
Interesting.
prevalent it is. Then I think that you're pretty much either somebody's pissed in the gene pool and the gene pool is no longer good. We got to go back to the start. I mean, somebody's got to save it somewhere.
Very interesting, man. I love the perspective.
So part of being a breeder is kind of having that eye for, especially with autoflower breeding. This is such a skill. I don't know how you guys do this. It's going to be just experience, but having that eye to know what a plant is kind of going to turn out to be when they're young. Have you ever had a plant like completely go sideways on you and give you something that you totally didn't expect?
Oh, and I would tell you this. I've had an ass ton of them do that. And I mean, whenever I say an ass ton, I'm talking a bunch. As you're growing these things, I will not grow or breed anything that I have not grown probably 5 to 10 times in the past. I've got to get the traits of that plant down. I got to understand what that plant's going to do, and got to make sure that it's going to be something we want to carry forward and look at, right? So in the selection process, once you've grown enough of them, you can start deducing, seeing some of the traits. So say you grow the first run, you grow 6 of them, and 3 of them look like stars and 3 of them aren't. Well, you got to pay attention to its dubious notes. That's all I can tell you. It's dubious notebooks full of stuff that I have laid eyes on and witnessed through the growing process. And then once you kind of find what you want, you mass plant a shit ton of them. Probably I go from anywhere from 45 to 70 of them in seedling cups
Yeah,
to
wow.
get started. And then you start culling from the culling from there. You start culling down. I mean, you can do that type of selection in not a very big area because they're all solo cups. It's just a pain in the ass once they get in the seedling size to start watering them, right? And I don't like them getting very big before I transfer them because they won't get any size, especially if you're going to breed with it. You've got to, it's just like growing. I mean, that's part of the growing process. You got to make sure you transplant at the right time frame. If you transplant at all, I know there's people out there that don't practice the method, but I've always done that. And it helps me get the hunt done a little in a little more economic space.
Now, how many? If you start with like, let's say you said 45 to like
Yeah,
70 sometimes
yeah.
Whoa.
in little solo cups, that's a shit ton, right? Like then you gotta be like you gotta be a baby plant killer to be a breeder, especially an auto
Oh,
breeder, because it's like how do you wean this down, and how many plants do you carry forward and then transplant from those solo cups?
Oh my gosh, I want to hear this so badly. Yes.
so that depends. That really depends on the strain and what you're looking for. I mean, whenever you get down to the bare brass tacks of it, you may not have a seed run that's very viable or very large. I mean, if you only find, say, you plant 75 plants and you get it culled down and you're down to like 5, and you're like, man, these look great. You start to see them pre-flower. You've already got your other male over here on the other side going in a different area. But once you see it and maybe the structure gets wonky at the top, or maybe it just does something odd, like start throwing 3 leaves or something weird, and you end up culling it last minute, you got a single plant you're dealing with. Single plant mama, that's who's getting bred. And like I said, you're going to really want to carry the lineage down to lock in what you just bred into it to get the Gen 1s. You want to carry it down a few more generations before you look at releasing anything. I mean, I will release F2s. You get an F2 version, you're starting to look at grandparents. You know, you're seeing a little bit of the lineage. F3, you kind of lock in the traits a little bit more. And F4, you really kind of should have them locked in pretty good by that point. So to get back to G3's question, it's a pain in the ass. And it does take a trained eye, but you have to watch them closely with diligent notes. I mean, and it gets to that point to where either you're going to cull it. If you have 2 or 3 of this strain, the what you selected is something that's a common trait in this strain, right? So maybe it's the structure, maybe it's the frostiness of the ones you've grown out before, so you can see the frosty, right?
I
So
would
that's a
love to
different.
see you like your notebook, man. It's just like plant number 32. Its leaves did not like go above a 30-degree angle today. Plant looks a little unhappy. Going to pour vinegar in it and kill it, in its sleep. Like I how and what's your preferred method of disposing of these little seedlings then, or are they usually about like maybe 20 days old or so before
Yeah,
you
they're not very big. I mean, they're
Dude,
15
listen to
not
him.
even.
days?
He's getting horny, dude. Tell him.
I want to hear
Tell me
about your
how.
snuff methods, please.
Oh my gosh.
Mine's not that great. I mean, I just pop the cup loose, pull them out by the root, throw them in the trash, and dump the
So,
soil. I mean,
Oh, I
it's
can I can hear the baby
so
plant
you kill him and
screams.
throw him in a
Oh my God,
dumpster.
Cap.
yeah. I throw them in the compost bin, but
We'll just say
yeah,
dumpster because that sounds better.
There
they
you go.
go back.
Compost your
Ah,
baby plants.
Yeah, the compost.
I need an
Man,
adult.
I'm sorry.
you
That's what
got
it
it's
is. If
like
you're
part
doing
of the
more,
whole deal. G3, it's like if you want to be a breeder, you
I
better get
know.
used to killing baby plants.
yeah, I mean, you got
I'm
to
not a
kill.
breeder.
He might have as
I don't
well
know if
said
I
it.
could do it.
Everyone's got a little baby plant murderer in them.
No,
Oh yeah.
I'm like baby plant sanctuary.
Well, when you're dealing with
I
this
know.
many seedlings and stuff, is when we throw down and plant. That's a shit ton of seeds,
I know
and that's a
that's
shit ton of seedlings.
crazy
And
to
if
me.
you're only gonna
Yeah.
carry like one forward, it's like I can only imagine. You're just like you have to be so selective, and like any one thing will just like piss you off about that plant. You're like, Dead.
seedling
So
That's
you
it.
go from like 50 plus down to less than 10
Yeah,
in
it's
like
less than
a
10. Most of
matter
the
of
time,
a couple of weeks.
yeah, it's in short time frame. So
Wow.
by the time I'm doing the last of my culling, my personal, is right whenever they're getting up in the pre-flower, and you can start seeing the stretch, and I'm done. By then, you better have your plant selected.
Oh my gosh, you have to be almost prophetic.
Not
That's
prophetic.
crazy.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you've grown this strain out or whatever cultivar you're using, and I say that with quotes, whatever strain you're using, whatever strain you grow out, as long as you've grown it multiple times and you know that what you're chasing and you paint that picture for yourself and you've got notes on it, it's easy to pick it out. You've seen it time and time again, right? I mean, you know what you're looking for.
Yeah, very true. I guess the idea of growing the same plant that many times is just
Man,
so daunting to me.
through this with this that again, that's the game these breeders play. It's
I
such
know,
a,
such dedication. That's
yeah.
so much dedication to the art. Like, oh my gosh. You just so have so much admiration for good breeders.
Mm-hmm. That's why we talk to these people. That's why, that's why we want to bring them on the show, because it's like it takes a special kind of grower. It really does to be a breeder. I mean, I think everyone might have a little pollen chucker in them, and from my perspective, but like to be a breeder, it takes dedication, attention to detail, and all these things we talk about. And I don't know if everyone's got that. I truly don't.
There are a lot of people that think they do, and they definitely don't.
Everybody's got the
So
capability. Put it that way.
Yeah,
the ones that do it right deserve like the admiration. And that's again like why we love
absolutely.
talking to folks like you, sir.
And that other guy, BGG.
Yeah, I know I'm not the little brother of the trio.
Hey man, we got a lot of good, really good autoflower breeders, like kind of friends of the show, I would say. And like
Yeah,
again, I love that you guys like work together outside of the show to like make some fucking great new autoflowers for the community. That's awesome.
yeah.
I want to talk about the one now in your new selection that intrigued me the most.
Okay.
Can you guess what that one is? Knowing I like those umami terps and the kind of unquantifiable stank. He
Fill me
doesn't
in.
even know
I
his
have
own
no idea.
strains. He didn't. He's like, wait, did I breed something like? It's strawberry GMO, sir.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's not part of the raspberry
Oh
stomper line.
well, fuck me. All right. Well,
That's
what
on
is
its
that all
that's on its
about?
own. That's its own entity. So that was
Oh,
see all these strains. I got stories. Sorry, man. That's just the
no
damn
worries.
part.
No,
That's
no,
all right.
I confused you. I confused you. I just, but that again, looking at your selection, I was like, ooh, that one sounds interesting.
Yeah. So growing several GMO autos was that journey. That was a butt ton of GMO autos we grew. Uh, Found after several times of growing it, you find, man, I'm telling you, the whole garlic, mushroom, onion profile, right? So that one, it reeked of garlic. It smelled
Hmm.
like garlic. I mean, that had the terps. Then we crossed that up with our strawberry OG, which was not a release either. That was
Yeah.
so TKOG crossed with strawberry. I want to say it was strawberry cough or strawberry syrup. I can't
Well,
remember which
shit,
strain it
man.
was,
That's this one
but that
sounds
was
super special.
so that was a TKOG with the strawberry, and we brought that over here and crossed it with the GMO. So the GMO, like you said, the one we selected, I wanted all of it as far as the terps. I mean, that was the chaser. That was the smell of the plant. That's what drove me on that plant. Was good Lord, this plant, the smell of it. Um, I couldn't. I don't know how to describe it, but chased that one down. Right, planted multiple of them till we got them up so high they looked good, and figured the terps. You roll. That's part of the rolling the dice, right? So you got to roll the dice on that one when it's that young. You can do a stem rub or whatever, but I really don't believe you get the full profile. Anyway, to me, it's a roll of the dice. Roll it. You cross it up with the strong strawberry OG that we had. which after several of them on, I just had got it to where I needed to be at. It's kind of a backdoor project, but used it in this cross, and this one was fire. And bred it down a couple generations. I think the F2s and F3s we gave out as freebies for a while. And I had some people email me about it. Say, hey, man, you got any more of these freebies?
Nice.
That's the ones I want. A bunch of regular strains. So started, maybe we got something. So you go back to the drawing board with it, right? And you breed it down another generation and lock in what you really think you ought to lock in. And we gave them away for freebies for a while and then decided we'd do a release with it.
Nice, man.
First one's free, sucker.
Yeah, now you got to buy a pack.
Sorry.
But, hey, man, no, your prices are fair. Hey, you know, you get, it's like $10 a bean, feminized auto flowers.
No, so in our packs, what you get whenever you buy something from us is, you know, if you're buying it from me directly on the breeder, the bean packets, they're, and that's even through the CD. The bean packs usually have eight or nine beans in them. It's almost double what it says on there.
Word.
We
Give
get
that
plenty of beans.
Outcast math.
Yeah, and you know, it isn't that we're just throwing in a bunch of free beans. It's just that, you know, I want every grower that's out there to have a positive experience with it. Period. Bar none. End of story. If you had trouble germinating, I had a guy hit me up in Discord. He got a pack of a 3-pack, and he couldn't get any of them to pop. So I sent him a full brand new pack. I mean, it's not a big deal. Just reach out. I stand behind it. If you tell me it's not doing what you think it should be doing, if it doesn't germinate, hit me up. I'll get them. I'll get you replacements.
Yeah, but I mean, if somebody can't get a whole pack to germinate, they got to be doing something wrong.
Yeah, but
Shout
I
out
mean,
to that fucking knucklehead. Hope he's listening.
I'm not throwing anybody under the bus.
No,
man.
you don't have to. I will for you. Shout out to this. Shout out to this knucklehead that couldn't get one fucking bean to pop. Either that, or he's fucking a scam artist. One of the two scenarios. I don't like him either way.
I don't think he's a scam artist. I really don't. But anyway,
You're either
Like
the
you may
worst
judge yourself.
grower ever or a liar.
hey man,
One of two. That's all
I'm
right.
not the judge on that one, right?
Outcast
So
does not endorse or condone this statement, but I do.
Neither do we.
he's killing me.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, if anybody has any problems with them, they hit us back up. But yeah, 8 or 9 packs or 8 or 9 beans to the pack. You also get a pack of freebies thrown in there. Some of the freebies that we got going right now are a lot of the older strains. Back to the original OG ones, you know, there's some Sacred Watch in there, some Lucky Punch, some TKOG. A lot of that stuff's coming out in the freebie packs. We just giving it out and clearing out seed space. So
Nice, dude.
that's what you get. You order 1 pack, you get about probably 12, 13 beans,
Wow.
and then some stickers.
You gotta love the little guys, you know? They always hook it up. It's like,
You speaking of your stickers, I'm glad you mentioned that. You seem to put a lot of thought into your artwork, like a lot of you know, the other breeders we feature on the show. Tell us a little bit about that, like how you go about creating that. Really,
that's a good question.
Modern, how do I put this? Modern ingenuity and the use of fiber.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I ended up linking up with an artist on
That's great, dude. Yeah.
hunting it down and trying to figure out what I wanted to create. And so I employed a few of them. And that to me is way cheaper than, hey man, send me $600. I'll create your logo on Insta.
I create your dope logo.
For sure.
So yeah, they're held to a different standard, right? So I mean, it ain't like I'm going to chase them down to get my $25 or $30 back for using them the first time, but that's on me. But anyway, I ended up hunting a few artists down and ended up with one I liked his art style, and I've used them ever since. And
that's cool.
They're overseas. They, working back and forth. It's a matter of email, and it happens fairly quickly. Tell them what I want created, kind of give them an idea. They spit out what they want at me. I take a look at it. If I got to revise something, I tell them. We get it revised, and I just like the art style. That art
style carries over. Like
yeah, all the gear. Man,
yeah,
like you doing
consistent branding.
Yeah, you got to be branded if you're doing anything today. If you don't have a brand, you're not doing anything. I mean, you got to have a brand that people can see and they know who that is.
All right, all right. So speaking of which, maybe like show your I wish I had one of your
Oh,
stickers laying handy, but like show
oh, on
us
this side.
that logo you got on your shirt and like what is his name, sir?
Oh, it's blurring out.
I
I
don't
don't
know
have
why
a
it's
name
doing
for him.
that.
Maybe we have we do
Here, I
something
can bring this up.
along the lines of name the skeleton. Hell, we can do a
Yeah, we
contest.
gotta have like we gotta like know who this skeleton pirate cowboy is. I feel like we
Yeah.
need like a backstory and a little bit of lore on this character here.
So the character itself was just a creation that I really liked, and I liked the skeleton cowboy. That just goes back to a bunch of, I'm from Texas. We're in the prohibition land of the U.S. And
Yes,
you
sir.
know, I think about when I think of Texas. Whenever I didn't always live in the state, but whenever I did, I was away, and you try to get a picture in your mind of what Texas looked like. I didn't imagine it being where I'm at, and so I think of it like the Old West, right? And then that just working with that artist, I ended up just telling him, "Hey, I need a skeleton cowboy." And when he first came out, they threw me something of like the Texas Tech logo, where the guy's got his guns out, the little cowboy dude, like
Oh
Yosemite
yeah, yeah,
Sam.
yeah.
So threw something at me look like that. I said, "Yeah, I want his skeleton." And so they did a skeleton version, but put the guns up in there instead of down, pointing out, and it stuck. I liked it. Doesn't have a name though. That's the thing. I don't have
No.
anything to say that logo has a name. So what I was saying is probably need to do a contest or something. Name the logo, and I mean,
Yeah.
and we can do it on my Discord, your Discord, whoever. I don't care. But yeah, it'd be pretty cool to get a character name for him.
That sounds badass, man. Well,
Mhm.
you throw the winner a free pack or something.
Yeah, no, I'll
Sure,
throw them. Yeah,
sure,
I'll
sure.
throw
They'll
them
hook
for
they'll
sure.
hook them up. That's a good idea. I mean, I like Yosemite just to start. I mean, it's kind of that's
Yosemite.
kind of a classic name you just don't hear anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Or a nickname, I guess. I don't know. That wasn't his real name. Sam was his real name, right?
Sam. Mhm.
Samuel. I don't know why they. Why do you think they started calling him Yosemite? How do you get that
I
kind
have
of a
no idea.
nickname?
It's his cowboy name. It's like
That's
the
where he
kid,
camp a lot, I
or
guess. Maybe I don't know. I don't know, man. Just never play cards with a man whose name is a city or a state. It's my only advice to you kids. So yeah, what do you have coming up in the future, my friend? Like, you got anything you're working on
Yeah,
Yeah, I
coming
working
got.
on a
come
few
down the
different
pipe?
projects. Yeah, I've got quite a few projects I'm still working on, right? So I don't typically do multiple releases in a year. You're lucky if you get one a year out of me.
No,
Probably be
for
more
sure.
along the lines of one every 2 years. Um, but
Killing
yeah,
all
I've got
those
stuff in the
plants.
pipeline right now, and I'm working with several different friends and growers alike. As far as some photos that I'm trying to chase down the right one. Some of the lineage and some of the back crossing on it. I've got some Mendo in the works. A few other.
Nice.
The Mendo is my favorite. I mean, that cut of Mendo I've passed on friends. I got some seeds created.
We're on Mendo
Just got to see
breath.
what they look like. Yeah, Mendo breath. It's
Yo,
it's
that's
it's.
that's got the umami terps.
I wouldn't call it that. This one's more Kimmy, man. I mean, this one I would say is it's a nose
Okay.
burner for sure.
So you got a certain like cut of it?
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
I
all
got
right.
several
Because
friends, and that's what we started at.
it's definitely like the umami comes from the chem family, but it's like this weird, like
Offshoot.
yeah, offshoot of chem. But yeah,
You think name like
oh for
Stomper,
sure,
you'd have meat terps, right? But
perhaps.
yeah. Anyway, the Mendo, that's one thing we're working with, and along the auto line, I've got some projects in the works, but nothing really. I can't release anything right now as far as lineage on it. But there is a
Secrets.
couple generations in the works,
That's cool,
and
man. you
they'll be
don't,
out.
just good to know you have some aces up your sleeve. That's all. You don't need to
Oh
tell
yeah,
me.
there's always aces up the sleeve, and I'm always continuing checking out other different plants, and always continuing to grow other breeders' gear and look and hunt and find and grow several different things out before I decide to say, hey, let's go ahead and ride with this one.
That's awesome. Yeah, super interesting, man. What you guys always, choose to work with and move forward with. At least I always find that interesting. How it's like
Yeah.
usually it'll be like you release a line, is maybe let's say half a dozen new stuff. Like last time it was the Stomper series, and it seems as if you liked Raspberry Stomper out of all of them. Maybe a little more, like of all your children, you like that one just a little more than the others, and you went ahead and like went forward with that. So it's like I would definitely be looking at that Raspberry Stomper now in your catalog because you thought that was one of your best work. Whenever the breeder themselves decides like, yeah, that's the one I want to like make new stuff with, you're always like, oh, all right, maybe that was the one in that last line that I
Yeah.
should have gotten.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it's
missed
always a
out
little,
on.
a little too late, right? So that's why we created the V2 version.
Yeah, there you
Uh,
go.
we had the V1, now we got the V2. We got plenty of V2 seeds, but it's almost a mirror or sister. It's actually kind of the great aunt, uncle, cousin, sister's roommate, relative to it. But anyway,
Somehow
it's
related.
it's back crossed into grandma. But yeah, anyway, it carried forward, and yeah, we ended up with some offspring that looked really, really good, and we were happy to
Nice.
slap our name on it. So the original raspberry stomper, yeah, that plant to me was special. It was something different, and I liked it. Like I said, the terps and the frostiness. That plant blew the other stompers out of the water whenever. And we had some good ones. The blueberry stomper was a good frosty nugget. And you look at the raspberry compared to the blueberry, there's a little difference. A lot of people like the blueberry because of the terps. The raspberry was really terps are all right, but man, that plant looks
You like the
different.
frost, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, that plant's gorgeous. And so carry it ahead, and then now working, got those crosses, but that isn't what is in the background. That I've got those right now. Those are kind of what's on the forefront now for selling the public. But in the background, there's some other things that are going second or third generation in right now.
Cool.
So it's just carrying it forward. And like I said, if it gets to where it needs to, we'll have a gen for them. We'll turn some loose down the road. I mean, it might be another year.
Yeah, man. Dude, it takes time, man. Takes good art
It takes
takes
me time.
time.
I'm just saying it takes me time. I know other people do it faster than I do, but I'm kind of limited with what you got to work with, right? So it
Yeah,
takes some
right.
time doing it right, the right
An
way. I would
outlaw
say.
out there in prohibition land. We don't have all the
But
space in the
You're
world
tyrant.
or the resources to work with. We get it. Fucking respect.
never heard
Somebody's got to do it.
anything bad about your shit. And the three or so strains I've grown, I've all liked. So uh, just keep doing what you're doing, man. Don't ever
Hmm.
Yeah.
fucking work to your own drum. Your own calendar. Don't ever feel pressure to release shit quicker.
I don't, I don't know, and I'm not saying other breeders do, but I'm not chasing a dollar in this game. That's not what I'm doing this for. There's this so far from it because I mean, if you're getting in this game to make money, you're in it for the wrong reasons. This is a
I
passion.
love that.
That's what it is. It's a passion. That's all it is. Now, if I can share my passion with the world, then so be it. Maybe I make a few people happier. But yeah, it's a passion. It all is driven back when my wife was sick and got medicine that worked, and then you're driving down that rabbit hole, man. I mean, you're just going in the hole with these genetics, trying to figure out what works with what and what kind of effects does this give you, and just chasing what you love, and then learning more about the genetics, saying, hey, we need to breed these things. I need to get something that works for me. And so we cross them up, end up with better medicine, and you just keep chasing that. And then, sometimes there's things that get in the way and life gets in the way. It might put you on hiatus for a little bit, but if you got dubious notes, you can pick right back up where you left off.
He's got the notebook.
Man, every breeder that's breeding
Tells
has
them
a
what to
notebook.
look
I
for.
promise you. Yeah, they got a. I guarantee you, BGG's got a black book, and it's probably about as thick as mine is. It's like a damn dictionary.
That's
Or I
interesting,
know he
man.
does too.
Very interesting. Well,
Yeah, if you're not taking notes, you can't do this right. I mean,
it's
that's
scientific,
that's
you
my
know.
take on it, man.
Plus, you know, short-term memory loss and all that stuff. I mean, shit. If I remember what I had for lunch yesterday, it's
Do you
tough.
remember?
You
That's
always
the
think you're
question.
gonna remember, like that sort of thing. You're just like, oh, there's no way I'll forget. If you ever like forget to label plants in
I'll
your
give you one
garden
better.
or anything like that.
Yeah, I've forgotten to label them for sure. Thinking I'll remember what this one is. I'll remember what this whole corner of this section of the tin is. I know what these 12 cups are. Forget it
Yeah.
every damn time.
Yep. Like 4 weeks later, you're just like, oh my god, I was it that one or that one? Like, I know it was one of the two, but now I have no idea. So it's just, yeah, just fucking do yourself a favor. Write it
Notes.
down in a notebook.
Yeah. So, Captain, have you ever been to the grocery store and your wife sent you after 5 things and you come home with 3 because you couldn't remember what the other 2 were?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, you're
It'll
wrong
like,
there.
you know, I'll walk around the store for like 15 minutes too. Like, if I just see the thing, it'll jog my memory. I'll like,
And it doesn't.
you just walk in circles.
3 hours
Checkout
later.
girls looking at you weird. Like, who is this guy? Someone call security.
You've been in here 3 hours.
Smells like burnt peanuts.
Oh, dude, that's a fucking zinger. I love that. Bringing it full fucking circle. Dude. Yo, it's always fun to have you on, man. Outcast, you're fun to talk to, man. I like that you have your own vibe, your own like yeah, it's a very cool vibe you got. I like it a lot.
Appreciate it. Yeah. I dig you guys too. Hell, I don't miss an episode.
Yeah.
We
What
love
do you
you.
Listen
watch
to you
live
all.
or
Yeah.
usually just catch it on podcast form?
Usually catch it on podcast on my commute to work and back,
Yeah,
my
word.
9 to 5. Yeah.
Man,
I
that's
always catch it on podcast. I catch it live once in a while.
I'm a
Yeah, we've
podcast
seen you in there.
purist myself. I love just waiting for the episode to drop for sure. But yeah, if you can join us live, guys, we love when you come, show up in the chat,
Yep, we go
chime back and
live
forth. You know,
most
we can-
Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Throw your 2 cents in while you're there live.
we do see all the messages, guys. We we see y'all. We appreciate every single one of you. One more
Great.
time, Outcast. Yo, where can we find you? Where can we find your beans?
So if you go on Instagram, Outcast Genetics,
With a K.
yeah, with a K. Outcast Genetics, it ought to pull it up. Inside my links there, I've got one link to the storefront, which is Big Cartel. It's a Big Cartel storefront, and then the other link goes over to the Seed Bank. Kirk and that group out there, and they hook it up with freebies too. They're a great group
Cool.
of guys. But yeah, good people.
If if let's say we're a Discord member in the community already, we hit you up on Discord.
Yeah,
a
I've got
DM.
I've got a Discord as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can DM
do you
me.
do little personal like do you douche a business that way?
Yeah, I can for sure.
Okay,
Yeah, we can
cool.
do business email, Discord, whatever you want to do.
Word.
We ran a grow along with your sister podcast, Cultivation Conversation. We did grow
with
along.
my
Last
with my sister. What the fuck? You
Yeah.
talking about my sister again?
Talk about bringing it full circle. Oh,
I mean,
shit.
the Cultivation Conversation is crafting cannabis. Rudy and that bunch over there.
Nice.
Blackstone.
All right, cool.
So give them guys a shout. They're great guys.
Oh, you had a
Oh, we
seed
Absolutely.
grower
love
on over
them.
there. All right, gotcha. I
Yeah,
gotcha.
you need to have those
Yep.
guys on. That's who you need to bring on is Rudy and Blackwater and Early Bird. Just have them all on one screen,
Okay,
chatting with you.
dude, that's a lot of people. Do you
Chaos.
think?
I love it.
Do you think
Yeah,
we could
more
do that
ultimate chaos.
during Mercury retrograde and just?
Oh, I think it's the only way we could.
Yeah, rip the band-aid off and get
All
after
right, all right. I think we could probably arrange that, man. I do love those guys. So
Yeah, they're good dudes. But
Hmm.
yeah, you can just on the storefront, hit me up on Instagram. I am a member of Discord, just Outcast Genetics on Discord. I'm a member of Cultivation Conversations, the YAG as well. Member of those guys. And then got my own Discord and your other sister over there, your step cousin sister, Captain Cannabis.
nice. Yeah, I'm gonna check out that episode too. You were on their show, I presume, then too.
Yeah, we just did one. I guess it's
Not
been
long
about a
ago.
month or so back.
Oh,
It
word.
was a little while back, but it was me, Alabrije, and BGG. All three of us
Yeah, it
got
was
on there.
like the breeder
Whoa,
collection. It was a great
Oh,
whoa,
episode.
fucking
whoa.
gangbang, huh?
Yeah, we sat down, all three of us,
Wow.
did a panel deal with them, and it turned out it was a pretty cool episode. Those guys, I mean,
That's
they pass on their
badass.
knowledge too. They know some shit
Oh
for sure.
shit.
I
Yeah,
love
pretty
that,
cool.
man.
Hmm.
For sure. Yeah, guys, check out Crafting Cannabis podcast. And check out Outcast Genetics. For Christ's
Yeah, hit
sake,
me
if you
up.
haven't already, what are you doing with your life? For real.
Where you
Craft
fucking going?
autoflower breeder.
Nowhere.
Yeah, get your shit together. Support a real dude who's making real gear. So,
Well, sharing my gear, right? So
yeah, the stuff he
that's what it
likes.
is. Yeah, it's the stuff I like. It's a replica. I'm not saying you're going to like it, but maybe there's something in there that you love. I know it's not up
Oh,
some
man.
people's alley.
Yeah, if you're doing it for yourself and you know and you're liking it, then there's a great chance that other people will like it as well. There are
Yeah,
obviously will be some that don't. That's okay. But like I
I
challenge you
know.
to not find something that they like in your fucking lineup. I mean, fuck.
Oh,
There's
fruit and
enough for
gas,
them.
man. Fruit and
Yeah.
gas.
Yeah, maybe I'll chase the meat turf and get a Slim Jim or something.
Yeah, you
No
go
need.
down
No
that
need.
Mendo
Really, no
breath
need.
line. Oh, I'm telling you, you'll find it.
The ones, you say that and it may come out. I mean, we might end up back crossing into it and it
Yeah,
may pop up somewhere in the
I love it.
genetics.
I
There's no
love
never
it.
telling.
know. Just never know,
I
right?
always want, I mean, the one I've got right now though, I'm chasing it. It's Kim. It's Kim gas.
There you go.
That's where it's at. And but like I said, if you go back, there's no telling if we back cross it. So if
Yeah,
it can go back a
you don't know how
couple
it's gonna
generations.
behave, man. It's like a lot of sometimes when you cross A with B, you don't always get C. You know what I
Oh
mean?
no.
It's like it shoots off in a whole new direction, and like the great grandparents show up and start to say hi, and you're like, wait, where the fuck did you come from? Like, you ever see people that are like, 5'5" woman marries 5'8" man, and their child is 6'5"? Like, how the fuck does that happen? It's in there somewhere,
Oh yeah, it's in there.
It comes out in weird ways sometimes. Genetics are a curious thing, my friend. But yeah, that's again why we like to talk to you guys. I work with these things. Try to get some sort of knowledge from you. I think we
Well,
accomplished that.
yeah, I was gonna say I hope you got something.
Yeah, for
If
sure,
not, you
man.
got my philosophy on things.
That's enough. And
Yes,
we got
definitely.
your contributions to the community in seed form. So
Hmm.
go
Yeah.
check out Outcast. Check us out on Discord, on
Patreon.
Patreon. Yeah, for sure. That's how we keep our lights on, and we
Thank you
appreciate
to all
all
of
you
our
guys.
patrons. We love you guys.
Yeah, we
We
appreciate
love everybody.
the
And thanks to
shit
the
out of
chat
you
for being here.
for sure. And I appreciate all three of you, Monsta and G3 in particular, for taking time out of their week every week and coming to talk with me.
The pleasure is mine, and we appreciate you guys too.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody.
Thank you.
It's a
Everybody
big
appreciates
old
you.
gang bang.
Oh, love.
Big old group hug, everybody. All
Gang
right,
bang.
cool. And until next time, keep yourself high. Don't get caught.